Hi, I'm Anastasia, the dog tooth fairy, and I'm just doing a video with one of my clients, Eleanor Sweeney from Loon Dog Grooming in Lancaster. And Eleanor has done a training course recently. Well, she's had a team training with her and her team of staff from her grooming salon. So I'm just having a little quick chat with Eleanor about how she's changed her marketing strategies recently and enhance their Emmi-Pet service within a grooming business. So hi, Eleanor, thank you so much for coming on to do this little chat.
Welcome.
Thank you. Can you just tell, obviously, the people watching this a little bit about your business?
So yeah, I trained back in 2014, would it be? Yeah, 2013, I think. I came out of the health service and retrained, and then set up Loon Dog Grooming. So initially I was part-time, working from home. I'd always had contacts with the Animal Rescue Centre in Lancaster. My dog Pluto was from there, and our other poodle was from there as well, Timmy. So I'd known the staff there for quite a long time. So I got in contact with them when I was training to say, would they be interested in having somebody go up and, bath or groom their dogs, which they did. So initially I used to go up kind of once a month and groom from what was the cat kitchen. So any dog that would fit in the sink is what I could bath really there. So that's that kind of. So I did that for a while, and then they managed to get funding to do out one of the old buildings on the site, and I got the lease for that. So I've been there since 2014.
All right, brilliant.
So it's an animal rescue. In the majority of them are dogs. There's also a cattery, and then we have some small animals, so rabbits, guinea pigs, hamsters occasionally. And there's some other animals around who are resident. So we have some resident goats, and some hens and chickens and ducks. And, yeah.
Sounds like a really interesting place to work.
Yeah, it is. It's lovely. So initially I just had one little room, and then the training that I'd done was kind of the centre where I trained would just getting their accreditation for City and Guilds. So I did an in-house thing with them when I first did my training, and then I went back to do my City and Guilds a couple of years ago. And one of the girls who was doing her training at the time lived locally, so she came to me and started renting the table. So that's Nat. And then another girl who I've known since she was 16, actually, Frankie, known her a long time. She then trained at the same place as we had. And so she rents her table from me as well. So there's kind of 3 businesses working from our place now. Okay. And we've got 2 apprentices. But we work together very much as a team, although obviously those 2 have got their own businesses and their own customers. Mm-hmm. We try and do stuff together as a group as well. Yeah. So we started to do some in-service staff training in the I think probably about May time. Yeah. So we'd been to a couple of competitions together, just as spectators. And we started doing a couple of things, just like once every couple of months, having a day that was just for us to try and look at our skills, share skills between us, that kind of thing. And one of the things that we'd kept coming back to was about doing the Emmi-Pet training. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of where we got in contact with yourself.
Because am I right in thinking that you had the Emmi-Pet for quite a while and it had sat in a box sort of doing nothing for...
Yeah, well, I got mine. I can't even remember. I tried to look back in my messages to see when I got it, but I think I must have got it about 2017.
All right. That's a long time ago then.
2018. I know it wasn't long after it kind of come into the country.
Just come out, yeah.
So I think it was probably Sally Hart that I got mine from.
Right.
And then I think I'd maybe had it for a little while, but wasn't sure what to do with it. Mm-hmm. and another lady was doing some training. So myself and another dog groomer from Lancaster went down to somewhere in Cheshire and did a day training. So that, I think that was in 2019 we did that. So after that so we did Timmy, our poodle, and I did a couple of little videos. I'm not great on doing technical uploads and things, but I did try to do some sort of marketing around, like doing a little video of Tim. So I think I probably had maybe 2 or 3 other customers.
Yeah.
I remember one that did a course because I still have his photographs, and a couple that did sort of maintenance things, but just not, I think I probably wasn't that confident, so I wasn't kind of pushing it with people. And then Nat bought the version 2 in 2020 pre-COVID.
Right.
And she mainly got it because she's got 2 collies, so she started using it at home. But again, I think she didn't feel confident using it without having some kind of more formalized training, not just kind of what I'd shown her to do, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then obviously with COVID, when we reopened, it just seemed like it was something that was quite complicated to try and get around all the kind of PPE stuff, and it was hard enough getting our heads around how we were going to kind of groom the dogs without thinking about putting our hands in the dogs' mouths. So I think it just was like, we can't even go there because there's just not space in our heads to do it.
Yeah.
And we kept kind of putting it off, really, because we kept, right, after Christmas we'll start it, and then that was, another 8 months had gone by and we still hadn't done anything. So yeah, they'd been basically sat in boxes, not really not being used at all.
And I think that's the thing about Emmi-Pet. You can do some training and you can go on a course, but then if you're not like kind of getting going with it right away and doing it like day in, day out, or week in, week out, then you lose your confidence. So I think that it's quite important to actually, if you do some training, just go with it, because obviously, you did your training and then maybe didn't get straight into it, and then COVID got in the way, the pandemic and everything else, and then you can kind of forget what you've learned almost.
Yeah, and I think it feels like a bigger thing than it really is.
Yeah.
Because it's just something that's not quite in your usual routine of things. So it just feels like a big thing to then start to do.
Yeah, definitely. I would agree on that. So what made you decide to sort of take the training with myself? Because you approached me for like a team training. And to be quite honest, I think it's the only team training that I've done so far, but it was really nice. I really enjoyed it. I think you've got a lovely team of girls.
Yeah, they're a really nice bunch. And I think, I think probably just because it had been a while then since I'd done the training, and I knew that version 2 had come out in between time. So I thought I kind of needed a refresher, really. So Nat had never done any training and had kept saying I probably should do some. And because all the trainings tend to be on an evening, and we wanted to be able to all kind of access it at the same time, then obviously Frankie had joined us, and we had the 2 young girls as well, the 2 apprentices. So we just thought, I wonder if we could get one in one of our staff training days, because we'd started doing those training days. If we could get one then we were all up to speed. We're all getting the same information at the same time.
Yeah.
So we're kind of all starting from the same platform then.
Yeah.
So although I had a little bit more experience on the kind of practicalities of doing it, it meant that we all had the same kind of knowledge base, really.
Yeah.
And then you're all in it together then, aren't you? Rather than just one person doing it and it being like, I don't know, something special that they do.
Yeah.
it feels like much more of a team thing. And I think for the apprentices, it felt like, you know, a really kind of quite a special thing, because it's quite specific training and a specific thing to do. That for them to be included in that was really important.
Yeah, and it's really nice that you are investing in your whole team and the apprentices as well, because sometimes as an apprentice, depends where you're working, but sometimes, like when I'd done college work placements and things, sometimes you can get trapped like a bit of an underdog, and it's really nice if you've got an employer that really supports your growth, really appreciates you. You know, that's a lovely feeling.
And also I just kind of thought, you know, it's the training's what, you know, 40-45 pounds, whatever. It's not a massive amount. We spend more than that on a bottle of shampoo.
I thought you were going to say champagne there.
Oh, well, only for special occasions, Anastasia. No, but do you know what I mean? So in the scheme of things, it's not a huge amount of money and you get, you know, that we've paid for that already. Yeah, in that the first sort of clinic that we did, that's paid for itself. So, and to me, for them, it's meant that, you know, yes, we're investing in them, but you're bringing them with you, so they're motivated as well. Definitely. So it's not just you having to motivate them; they want to do it too. So, you know.
And I think it is that thing that you have to speculate to accumulate. And I feel like that, you know, people that do the training, they seem to have a lot higher chance of succeeding because they've got all the tools that they need to get going. Whereas if they haven't done the training, they may be thinking to themselves, how much should I charge? How long should the sessions be? So it's just gives that little confidence boost, really.
Yeah.
I'm just looking to see what my other questions that are written were. What would you say now that you're doing differently with the Emmi-Pet that you weren't doing before? And how has the Emmi-Pet improved your business with the changes that you've made?
So we made a decision to do a clinic day. So we basically we just put a, you know, we have a send to all email facility on our diary because we have Savvy. So we sent that out to everybody, and we put a post on Facebook, and we got 15 bookings within 24 hours.
That's really good. So is that does the Savvy send an email to all your clients?
Yeah, so it's got a send to all button basically, so you just do one email out to everyone. So I did 2 little photographs. So I spent quite a bit of time like downloading all the Emmi-Pet you know, the photos and logos and things, and I used Canva quite a bit. So I did like a 2-page photo it is. So one with the, you know, the dogs with the holding the toothbrush in the mouths, and then the other one just with advantages of using the Emmi-Pet, just and only about 5 points, not massive. And put a thing out saying, you know, we've all done the Emmi-Pet training now, because we put the photographs of when we did the training with you on our social media. We've all done the training. We're going to run this clinic day. There's limited appointments, and we said we're going to have an offer for that day. If you're interested, let us know. And I say it filled up straight away, and we had a waiting list. So I think one lady cancelled a couple of days before. In fact, only been the day before, because her dogs were in season. She was bringing 2, so we just used 2 of my terriers instead. And that actually was quite good, because they don't have a lot of tartar.
Right.
So it was a really good practice for a couple of the girls to do, because they could kind of get it off straight away.
Yeah.
So I think that was a really good boost for them.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, it's coming off. They're getting really excited. So yeah, so we set up a clinic day, and we set up packs for each client. So each pack had in one of the record cards, a leaflet if they hadn't already had one. We'd done a terms and conditions thing with a price plan on the back, and a little questionnaire. and then we had a kind of a sort of crib sheet, if you like, on the wall in the groom room of what we were going to do with each customer. So when they arrived for their appointment, so they were each given an hour appointment, and we could do 2 at a time because we've got the 2 brushes. So they came, and the little questionnaire was just things like, what do you feed your dog on? So if it was soft food, or wet food, dry food, kibble, that kind of thing. So we kind of had an idea if we got any tartar off, how quickly it was going to be back on there if they were on wet food. Did they like chewing things? Had they had a vet dental before? How often could they come? Just really quick. But it just gave us a little chance to find out a little bit more about that customer and that dog, and what effort they'd already put in, what they thought they would get out of the day. Because sometimes a couple of them, they were saying, I'm pretty sure his teeth are really bad, but I'd like you to still do the session and see where we go. So I think that having the clinic day, I think kind of focused us really, because we were all doing the same thing all day. It was really quiet. Because there was no dryers or no blasters going, no clippers going. And we only had 2 dogs in at a time, and they were both having their teeth done, so they were both in the same room. But I think that just kind of brought the levels down a little bit. Noisy, as you know. So I think it came across very professional for people booking in for it. They knew what they were coming for. I think it focused us, and it helped us. We had plenty of time with each dog. It wasn't just kind of tagged on at the end of the day, or we had that hour with that dog, and there was always somebody else free, because there was 5 of us. We could kind of help each other set up, stand behind the dog if they were backing off the table, that kind of thing.
It does sound really well organized and structured, and I think that it's like fab ideas that you've got with putting like the packet together with the record cards, and there's just like an air of professionalism about it that the clients are probably really impressed by. Did you come up with them ideas yourself, or was it more of like a team effort?
I thought about the questionnaire myself, but it was the girls that said about having like a little pack. And then we all knew where everything was then as well. So it was all, we had it all together, and so it was quite exciting, like leading up to it as well, because it was something new. We'd not done it like that before.
And I think as like a dog owner myself, if I was to take Rock or Winnie to the dog groomers and say I went to a brand new establishment and I was maybe going into full swing where the groomers have got a matted cockapoo that's never been to the groomers before, and it's like yelping and thrashing around. And if I brought my little tiny dog to have its teeth cleaned for the first time, I'd just be like, oh my God. So I think that thing of just having a separate clinic makes it really calm as well.
So we did have a few that couldn't book in on the day, who had appointments kind of quite close by. So we did see a few others outside of the clinic, but it definitely helped. It helped organise us and kind of keep us focused, having that clinic day. And we've said, and it's generated more interest since then as well. So when we put photographs on of the clinic day, and we've now, what the training had done was reminded me that I'd had other bits of kit and marketing things that I'd forgotten about. So I'd forgotten I had a poster, because we took all the posters down when we came back in from COVID, because we were told we couldn't have stuff on the walls. And they'd all been packed away, and I forgot I had them. So put them back up on the walls, put the mascot on the reception desk with some leaflets. One of my toothbrushes in the reception on charge all the time. So then if people start to ask about it, I can show them it straight away. And, switch it on and off and explain, there's no noise, blah, blah, so they can see it. So yeah, that changed. That's definitely changed, and we've decided to book in another clinic day for 1st of February, I think it is. So that we've already got people interested in that.
Oh, that's fab. But it sounds like it's been a great success.
Yeah. So I think from that day we had a couple of them that we straight away said need to go to have a vet dental, and then we'll book in maintenance with them. We had one who booked a package, and then I think 3 or 4 others who we've added it onto their groom as like a maintenance session.
Yeah. And did you pull in like new clients as well as existing clients?
No, we just aimed it at our existing ones, because we kind of thought, after the discussion with yourself, like there's about 400 on our books altogether.
Yeah.
So we thought really we've got quite a pool of people there already.
Yeah.
And I think it did really help that we knew the dogs that were coming in, because they weren't all easy dogs.
No.
Because in fact the majority were probably terriers actually. And there was Ian, the big Airedale that you saw in the photograph, who was gorgeous, who was just like a real gentleman. He just sat there. He would have sat there for hours, I think, having his teeth done. He was absolutely fine. And a couple, so I do a Jack Russell Jack Russell Poodle cross, who was quite snappy in his grooms.
Yeah.
So when she kind of said, "Oh, what about Angus?" I was thinking, oh, this could be fun. But he was absolutely brilliant. And I think that was partly because it was very quiet. Yeah. That was really good for him. But
I do think the Emmi-Pet can take you by surprise, because it's kind of calm. You're just moving from tooth to tooth with the toothbrush. I do find that some dogs that really despise being groomed, you get the Emmi-Pet out and you're like, oh, how is this going to go? And then the dog just takes you by surprise and it's just really chill.
Yeah. So even though there were ones that we thought might be a little bit iffy, they were okay. And I think that it did help us knowing the dog and knowing, how to handle them and who was best with them as well. If they're used to one person, then keep them with that person for the teeth cleaning as well. And yeah.
And has it helped the business from a financial point of view as well? Do you think that the clinic days or Emmi-Pet going forward is going to boost the business's income?
Yes, I think so. Well, I think from that day we worked out from what we took on, obviously the clinic day itself, because we did a discount, it wouldn't have taken as much as we would have done on a day normally.
Yeah.
But then that generated probably another, I don't know, £400 or £500 work between now and Christmas. So
that's brilliant.
So if we can do that every time,
then
that's £400 or £500 we wouldn't have had.
Yeah, that's brilliant. And what advice would you give to any pet professionals or dog groomers that are wanting to start with Emmi-Pet, or some groomers that have maybe done a bit of Emmi-Pet but they're feeling stuck in a rut? What advice would you give to them?
I would say definitely do some training, even if you've done some before, just as a refresher, and to kind of there's always something new that you'll pick up, but also it'll just kind of reinforce the things that you do know, and that gives you confidence then to think, oh well, I knew about that bit. I knew about that bit. So just to kind of help your confidence really. And then I think just we took as many photographs as we could. That was the other good thing about having spare staff, if you like, each time we were doing one. Somebody else was taking the photographs. Having that extra person there was really helpful. If you've got a team, I would definitely suggest all of you being trained. Yeah. From the Saturday girl up to whoever, because they can all do it.
I think it's your Saturday girls and your apprentices as well that'll be really like hot at like the social marketing, because they're all like down with knowing how to do Instagram reels and TikTok and all that sort of thing, and that's what will get you viewers.
Yeah, so definitely train, if you've got a team of staff, get them all trained. And if you can do it all at the same time, that's even better, because you have that discussion all together then, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. Oh, I do tell a lie. I think I did train one other team. So I've done yours and I did another team. But yeah, it's nice to have a team together.
Yeah.
Because you get to see the dynamic of all the staff and everything, and it's lovely.
I did jot down what I thought. Yeah, the Facebook posts and things were just a really good way of generating interest and getting people to say they wanted to come to the clinic day. If you can do a clinic day, it makes sense just to kind of organise it that way for us. It gets you, because you kind of get in a bit of a role then of doing it.
Yeah.
As well, because you're doing the same thing all day. You've just got your kit out one time, rather than when, if you're just doing like the odd one here and there, you're constantly having to get stuff out and put it all back and all of that kind of thing. I think it made it much
my salon was Monday, Friday grooming, and then I did Saturday mornings, and I did 9 till 12 teeth cleaning, and I just was back to back with teeth, like little short. I didn't tend to do any intro sessions on the Saturday. I just did the top-up sessions. So, sometimes those were just 20 minutes long, and I could fit 3 of them into an hour. So those Saturdays were really good at making money. Sometimes on a Saturday morning, I'd make a hell of a lot more money than what I would on a day's grooming. So yeah, and it's a lot easier work as well. On your body and everything else. Oh, well, thank you so much, Eleanor. That's been brilliant.
You're welcome.
Thank you for joining me, and
we're all enjoying it, so it's good.
Oh, and I hope that some groomers and pet professionals see this and they'll get a bit of inspiration from you, because I think your story is really good, how you've reignited your Emmi-Pet, and you're doing really well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anastasia.